draft because you've got no peel,
Sure.
pretty much.
Yeah, and you look at what Rid have drafted themselves, and you are a little bit worried about how team fights are going to go, because as much as we talk about comfort for Furia, Rid is all about that team fight. You've got the Scion to kick things off. You've got Maokai to kind of decide, hey, do we go in or go out? And then you've got the Victor and Varus. And keep in mind, this time, Titan is running the lethal tempo here. This is not going to be that poke Varus. This is team fight Varus. And Red, this is when they've looked their strongest.
Yep, just going straight comfort here. Bull on the Scion, his first time this series. We've seen a couple Nar games from him. You've seen two very good Cassante games. One where he won MVP in game 1, I believe it was. Yeah, because I think Red.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
Oh, man. Yeah, it has been. This is the first 5-game series I've casted in a while. It's been a little bit here. Ooh, going with a cheeky little setup here. Getting Bull down on the bot side.
Huh.
Wonder what they're going to do.
They're just going to cheese it. Straight up. This is a modification on sort of the Scion early strat. So we've seen Scions invade enemy jungles, die to the enemy buff, and just TP right back into lane with the buff there. And the reason why it kind of works is Scion can afford to sack his lane a little bit. He's low econ. Ayu has no clue.
And nothing coming down from FNB either. I was looking for some pings. FNB had nothing, no sign of him. The Ignite comes down. Oh my goodness. This felt a little avoidable.
Was it though? There was no clue, and it was so dirty. And when 4x4 was the last time you've seen a Scion cheese bush at level 1?
A lot. That's what Scion does. FNB threw no, there was no question mark ping. Now, look, he might have said something in voice comms. Fine. But no question mark pings, no nothing. He was alone up there for a full, 10 seconds.
He probably just thought he was leashing for Aegis. I mean, that's the thing. That happens, right? And again, we've said before, in competitive, more often the Scions invade and steal away your buff and then TP back into lane. So, miscommunication there. But look at the results of it 4x4. Titan gets first blood in this lane. And that's going to be critical because Kai'Sa does pretty decently into the Varus as well. So, it's not as if Titan's got a winning lane. He needs to manufacture his own leads.
Yeah, and that's going to, again, we talk about it. I don't think he's going to go the Muramana, right?
Oh.
But, and Avenger in some trouble here. Envy throws the Shroud down, going to get a bunch of energy back, forces the flash out of Avenger. Nice, gets the Shurikens flip on, gets the TP, or the
Aegis?
E2 down, Scamber. Joining the party here, gets one stack down onto Goot, but is able to get the turnaround and get the stun onto Aegis there. No blood, no foul, and actually only one flash blown in Avenger.
Now, Scamber did have to roam up there, and that's leaving Titan in a bit of an unfortunate situation, especially when we saw Red commit to try to get this bot lane ahead here. So Furia, they don't find the kill, but they do burn the flash, and they do get their bot side the lead. So I think net positive still for Furia on that play.
Yeah, they get a little something back here. Titan, richest man on the Rift, again with that kill, no surprise. But Trigo going to get a decent reset here. We'll see if Titan can do the same here and just, again, keep the lead up. Bull, like you said, on that low econ pick. FNB on nothing but comfort here.
Yeah, and it's showing. Look at how he just walks up, plays right at the edge of turret range here, and just bullies out Bull. A lot of times, Scions are really, really safe, and they don't really get chunked out too heavily in lane because of the shielding and everything else. Are they? Okay, I was thinking, I know Bull's getting chunked, but surely we don't die.
No,
right?
no.
I don't know you have enough damage. Olaf takes a bit of time to get things down. And Red, I am a little bit worried for them. Yes, they've got really strong team fighting, but they do need a lane to play through. And right now, with all the comfort Furia have, if Furia can dominate all 3 lanes, Red might not get a team fight. And even if they do, they need to fight front to back. Titan's going to be exposed. Avenger's going to be exposed. And one thing we didn't touch on was Furia's composition looks messy, but it's a massive agency, and they can do whatever they want. For Red, who are you going to focus down? Because whoever you're focusing, the other 2 people are just running muck in your backline.
Yeah, there's so much backline access, right? And the peel is there, but it's just a lot of damage. And with FNB's ultimate as well, that's one place that you can't commit any sort of hard CC resources to.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Ayu Dashing forward here, above and below, gets 2. That's a lot of CC down. Aegis a little late to the party. One member down. Scamber just kind of running for the hills. Aegis too little, too late. 2 kills for Bel'Veth, or for Bel'Veth, for Furia and IU's Bel'Veth support.
Hey, man, you want to chalk that up to Bel'Veth? I'm fine with it. IU's initiating with this Bel'Veth, and this is the reason why we talk so much about IU, right? The fact that he's drawing bans on a pick that no other support is playing, and you can see how uncomfortable Red are. They don't know. Like, do we have enough damage to fight the Bel'Veth right now? Is this all in time for Bel'Veth? And IU just goes and knocks up, stands there, tanks the damage as Bel'Veth can early on. And that's disgusting when you consider that Bel'Veth originally was designed to be a skill-wing carry champion, that IU can do this in lane with no items.
Yeah, you gotta land that W though, right? And it's a lot of CC, that above and below. And he did, right? He landed 2, gave Trigo or gave Goot enough time to get down there, but yeah, and H is just a little too late there. FNB has level 6. Man, just playing right on the edge of that tower range. You pointed it out, RMC. I mean, that's just professional play right there, right? You know these little things, these little limits.
As we say that, I'm fully aware that we've also seen Brazilian top laners just eat turret shots for
True.
days.
True. Fair.
And yeah, somehow, I don't know, FNB just gets a buff on Olaf. I've seen him eat turret shots on a bunch of other champions, but his Olaf is just so clean for some odd reason. He did burn Ghost, though, to run down Bull, and didn't actually get much kill threat on Bull. We'll have to see if that comes back to bite him. So far, Goot has had the run of the map, and Aegis has not been able to find any sort of response. So we're holding hope out for Bull, but it needs to come from Aegis.
IU void surging around in the bot river. Getting a roam off here. Envy has hit level 6. He's got that perfect execution up. FNB, like we said, just the Olaf buff is prevalent right now. This isn't the end of the world for the Scion, right? But that's not really the point. It's not about setting Scion back. It's about getting FNB ahead. He's coming back, just kind of keeping the tempo up, right? Just coming back with one more item. IU with a lot of pressure on that long-range W. He could dash forward on W with that Q as well. And Envy in this melee matchup playing it really well, right? Avenger has good zone control on the Victor, good range as well. And Envy, it's really, really difficult on the Akali, even after 6, especially if you don't have kill threat.
Yeah, well, Envy hopefully soon will have that kill threat. And Avenger, you need to bully out early. If not, the mobility makes it so hard for you to actually win out this lane once Akali starts to really come in line, dashing about every which way. And as long as the flash is up too, I don't hold out that much hope. Maybe if Aegis ganks, Maokai has a lot of CC you can lock down. But that's a thought for later, because once again, we said it earlier, we'll say it again, Aegis has not made any proactive plays. Goot, on the other hand, taking up the Herald, nice and clean, easy. Already took the Dragon earlier. 2.5 minutes time, I expect to see Goot down bot, and I actually kind of see Envy go down as well. I think they can start diving Titan and Scamber down there.
Yeah, Goot, he's been all over the map, right? Last game we were praising both junglers for having really active early games. Aegis just kind of feels like it's been a little reactive, to your point, RMC. And Goot, quite the opposite. Got himself his team's first Dragon, team's first Herald. And IU roaming up here on this Bel'Veth, just with that W, you can wave clear. So nice, right? And a little bit of movement speed from these, the winged moonplate, I think is what those pants are called. And he's got the support item finished up. Look at that.
Yeah, it is the winged moonplate. Good call at that profile. I actually had to double check that because I could not remember what they're called. Fancy pants is usually what I call
Fancy
it.
pants. Nice.
Usually Dead Man's Plate, I think, is what IU has been rushing on this Bel'Veth for the most part, as you kind of alluded to there. So, we'll have to see how it goes. And IU's already kind of making his presence felt. He almost feels like a second jungler with how much he's been moving. Aegis forced the flash. What?
Whose jungle is this? It's Bel'Veth's, even when she's a support. These are her little babies.
Apparently.
Yeah. Goo walking right over a ward. Scamber and Titan taking out a lane. Guardian down. Envy got the W down on his shrouded Avenger, but just sidestepped it and able to throw down those 5-point strikes.
And what's terrifying to me is IU's doing that pre-6 as well. Like, if Bel'Veth is 6 and you're scared that she can 1v1 you, I understand that. IU is nowhere close. This is support Bel'Veth as well, and Aegis just has to pay so much respect. Goot got, I think, a couple of those small chickens, but not going to be able to take the big raptor. And 1 minute, I'm just watching that timer because I think that will be our first big fight. IU, Trigo, more IU than Trigo, but you can tell that they're really ramping up. They're getting excited. They want kills to happen. They want a big fight.
He just has level 6, but doesn't have what he feels anyway to be enough. Wow, just barely. Herald gonna get. Oh, okay. Able to interrupt the recall there with the Blighted Quiver.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's actually huge. It's going to slow down.
Oh.
Furia might not be able to contest for Dragon.
Yeah, and they got, the recall just completely busted up here. 10 seconds left. And with the Scuttle Crab on the side of Furia, maybe they've got a little something here, but, yeah, IU's going to stay. But with the Fancy Pants, he's feeling pretty good. Yeah, and this is critical. Can you get back in time? Because you've got a good item spike. Kraken Slayer online for Trigo. If he can get back in time, well, but you know who is here? It's FNB. Took the scenic route. Avenger caught completely unawares here. Maybe not completely, but Goot does jump on him.
FNB's here. Bolt's here.
Yeah, Titan throwing out the piercing arrow. Envy has shown up as well. In he goes. Who's going to grab the dragon? It will be Aegis. You get what you came for. IU going with the big ultimate there, dashing away, taking himself out of the fight. Trigo in with the Kaisa. This is a champion that he likes, despite having not played it professionally in 2 years. Comes up big with 2 kills. And Furia, a 5-0 ace out of nowhere. Avenger and company started up the dragon, and they all lose their lives for it. 5,000 gold ahead for Furia.
Well, we said it 4x4. Furia were aching for a massive team fight, and you just saw why. They knew they were strong. FNB TPing immediately to this top side as well. Gets a plate off that turret, forcing Bull to commit his own to answer. And Furia, they're just pushing this so well. Now, the setup for this, Red were actually in a better position, but Avenger gets caught moving. And look at how low Avenger is. He's already half dead. And then after that, they just go in. IU on this Belveth just doing so much again. Actually baits out a lot of damage and survives at the end of it as well. You could see Bull hesitated, looked away. And because of kind of split focus that Red had, burning everything on IU, not being able to kill, this support, by the way, not the big carry, they don't have the damage to kill Envy, to kill Trigo, who really are the big problems on this composition.
How about IU, man? On this support Velvet, like you said, just drawing so much attention. Like, you, with only 5 bans in 100 and something champions, like, the fact you could take away 1 is huge. And maybe I gotta eat some crow here, because we were talking about it on the preseason stream. Oh man, Chains of Corruption. IU says thank you very much. I feel honored that you are showering me with this much attention here. I feel like the prettiest girl at the ball. This is so nice, all this attention. I didn't give, I think, as much credit as I should have to how you could just warp a game with a pick like this. But it's been nothing but aces so far for Furia and IU. This support that came up much maligned. The move was met with just incredulity when Redbert was taken out of the lineup. And you bring in this kid, the results don't improve immediately. They sneak into playoffs, and with this pick, just playing phenomenally in a couple big playoff series.
Yeah, my personal vote for best rookie was IU over Zai, and we're seeing why right now. 7 plates taken by Furia, and meanwhile Red, they got 1 plate, and you can't even really blame Red. It's not like they're playing poorly. Part of it is composition, and again, I think a lot of it just comes down to unfamiliarity of what to do when Furia suddenly are all on their signature champions. They are smashing the lanes as they're expected to. And a 6k gold lead at 14 minutes. This is the biggest gold lead we've seen all series long.
Yeah, no, this is a slaughter, man. That ace, I mean, you get 5 owed like that just this early in the game. Man. Well, I look, credit to, and this isn't just this isn't just IU's pocket pick. This is Trigo busting out a champion that he hadn't played again in 2 years. In CBLOL. Goot, still in the Sejuani. Attaboy. Way to just, stick to what you have to do to allow FNB on the Olaf. That finally didn't get through bans. Thank you very much. Envy on the Akali out of nowhere. After a fantastic game on the Silas, he picks another melee matchup, high octane, give me the ball, I'm going to get you a bucket type of carry champion. Just comfort And with the momentum they built up from game 4 and the win they had there, clearly just playing with no restraints right now. This is awesome.
Now, the other thing we have to keep in mind with Bel'Veth as well, in context of what happened last game where Furia just ramped it up and did not stop, is Bel'Veth is an accelerator in the game as well. With her ultimate and with either the Herald or the Baron, that special coral it spawns here, her pushes are absolutely nasty. So Red now have to be very, very careful about the next fight they pick. If they get wiped again, we could potentially see an inhibitor push come through from Furia with the Herald, with the special Voidlings that IU will be spawning on Bel'Veth. So Red are now put onto the passive side when really they need to be making plays of their own. It's kind of do or die for Red. And normally we say that like 30-minute mark on a fight, but right now we're seeing that pre-20 minutes.
And just forcing flashes out of everybody. Avenger having to just surrender that fight. Envy up half an item on him. Goot grabs himself another Herald, and like you said, Bel'Veth just with these objectives can be such a force multiplier and an accelerator. Fantastic term. And again, they're going to get nothing out of this, or they're going to get no resistance to it. Will Red 2 charges off two Heralds, and they will get, it looks like, their second dragon in 3 tries. RMC, the objective bounties are up, brother.
Yeah, but can Red actually get any of them?
Yeah.
Look at the positioning on the map right now. Furia, they drop the Herald, they rotate down to Dragon immediately. And Red, what is the counterplay? We're used to seeing, okay, something happens on one side, what happens on the other. Red have no answer. They invade the jungle, they get a ward down. Whoop-de-doo. Not great. Are you going to try and cover Avenger? I am worried for Avenger right now. Proto Belt ready for Envy here. Avenger does back off. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, just backing right in the middle of the lane. Good night, sweet. Prince Shuriken flip in. There goes the W. He's going to Proto Belt out of it. Shroud down right across. Good. Stop it. Stop it, Envy.
Stop it, Avenger, bro. You can't be basing in the middle of the lane like that. Envy, to be fair, sat in the alcove for a good wave and a half. Well,
yeah.
The Herald was dropping the mid lane. Envy was chilling up in the alcove. They're really patient play, and that comes back and bites them. Envy starting to take off as well. Now 3-0-2. Trigo 3-0-3. And IU continues to dominate kill participation with the highest in the game, tied with Goot and Trigo right now at 1-0-1-6.
Yeah. It's beautiful stuff. Like you said, it just feels like Red, I mean, mistakes like Avengers right now aside, it just feels like they can't just really contest anything with any sort of comfort. Not even contest, or respond, I should say. Because just at every quarter, there seems like there's lurking a threat. And even when Furia have set up, right, or when they have gone for these plays, they've set them up really well, dropping the Herald immediately so that, okay, you can't get a push on mid lane. FNB, I mean, we haven't talked about him on this Olaf. I mean, he's just wreaking havoc. Here we go. Now we're going to see him maybe do Olaf things like press R and run away and pop goes.
Gotta be honest, I was disappointed. I was waiting for Aegis, for FNB to bait out Aegis and actually turn that.
Same.
100%. They can't. There's no damage here. Bo has completed a Sunfire Cape, and that's about it. Congrats. Aegis, Radiant Virtue. They have no damage between the two of them. And if you bait out all the CC from Aegis and then press Ragnarok and turn, you win that easy.
Yep. Yeah, and as we saw with Robo and what he was able to do against Los Grandes, once you get into that late game and get yourself a GA, you don't even have to be scared of the towers.
Yeah. We used to joke that the one CC that's effective on Olaf is death. It's the hardest CC of all.
Yeah, true.
Well, with the GA, that's not even true
anymore. Yeah, that's soft CC. That's secondary engage, if you will.
Yeah, and Furia... You know what? We'll get to that eventually. I have no doubt FNB will get to that stage, but it's a ways away. And I'm worried that Red Canids might not even last that long.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, like he might get there, but if the game does get there, either Furia have just done the opposite of throwing caution to the wind, right? Just playing this really slow, controlled game. But you think that the longer the game goes on, the more it would favor Red.
It does if they can get there, and that's a big problem. Is that Furia is not going to let them. As it is, Furia have been doing a great job pulling apart Red Canids. Normally, this is the stage of the game where you start to stall, especially with the Kai'Sa. You don't have the range to effectively poke down turrets. Like you can siege, but this is not AP Kai'Sa, and you don't have a lot of poke on your side. So, how do you break a turret? Well, Furia have done it by continuing to pressure all the lanes and punishing anybody who shows up in the lanes. They're pulling Red apart, and Red's answer to this should be to group up and make a play. But even then, who are you going to make the play on? F&B can turn, can run away. Envy is so slippery. If you collapse into the mid lane, well, your outer turret's still up. The lane is so short. Can you actually reach Trigo with Cleanse and Flash in time to make anything happen?
I don't think so, right? And he's got mobility of his own, right? It's so tricky. F&B and Envy, along with the 2 solo laners for Red Canids, they have taken teleport, but they are up 2-1 in terms of that teleport advantage. 8,000 is the lead. IU potentially looking for a pick here. He's got that dead man's done. The fancy pants have transformed into a whole ensemble here. Goot getting the CC down onto Scamber. Trigo firing out the W if he could get there, just in case he wanted to, I should say. Go all in with that ultimate. Little by little. Chipping away here. Not going to really go for a Baron, right? If anything, it would be a bait, right, to try to flip it. But just going back to their side lanes, or at least Envy is, if nothing else.
Yeah, there are pings coming down on Baron. I think both teams are very aware of it, but Furia, like you said, they're using it as bait, and they want to get a pick before they go for it. If they get any kill, I think they just turn and burn immediately. But they're not the ones in a rush, right? While all this is happening, Envy is still pressuring, as you mentioned, with double TP as well. F&B can go answer bot, and Dragon is about to spawn. That'll be sole point for Furia. They can definitely take that one. That one, they're not worried about. And for Red, anytime they lose vision on the Baron, somebody has to go and check. They are so afraid of Furia just turning and burning.
Yeah, as they should be. Second Dragon going down, or second Ocean Dragon, I should say. Third for Furia. Fourth of the game. Ocean Soul going to make this just that much tougher, obviously. But Furia, no, they're look, yeah, it's just they're just kind of choking out Red. Red can't find anything right now. Aegis has been silent this game, and it's unfortunate. Because the fights kind of have to start with him, and maybe it's being a little unfair, and maybe should a little more criticism be thrown at Furia for not kind of readily accelerating the game like they were in the early game, or is that just kind of like them's the breaks, right? This is good because look, at the end of the day, you're still up 8,000 gold. You don't need to be super reckless.
Yeah, so they are actually accelerating the pace of the game. It just doesn't visibly show. So they've been chipping away that mid turret this entire time. And if you look at the map state as well, they have pushed in multiple lanes. And now they're set up for this situation where Red have to walk through an ocean map, by the way, with a lot more bushes than there normally should be, blind into a trap. And because they've taken the time to set this up as well, they are threatening flank positions. They don't. If they had vision right there, you could bet your bottom dollar Fury would be looking for the engage.
Yeah, and both sides just like ships in the night. Just passing each other. I was getting ready to start screaming at my monitor, but no dice, didn't happen. FNB, meanwhile, just being a one-man black hole, just drawing everybody to him on the bottom side, and he will continue to do so. Just comes back with the Jack Show now. He's got the boots as well. I think he's sitting on a good little chunk of gold here, because I think he's been on these 2 items for a while. If I'm not mistaken. Goot well on his way to his first mythic item as well. 2 items spike for Trigo. Got the Navori Quick Blades as well. He's on 2.5, excuse me. Yeah, and IU can just kind of walk up with no fear here. And the battle lines are starting to be drawn again around this Baron. Surprised we haven't seen, quite as much action here. We've been kind of talking in circles for a little bit.
Not for much longer, I don't think. I do think we're going to see the trigger pulled quickly enough. Furia once again in there, kind of just clearing out the vision. I was wondering if they're waiting for item breakpoints, but it doesn't look like they're there quite yet in terms of item breakpoints. The bot wave actually just getting shoved out by Bo as well does mean that Red can respond to this. And there we go. Furia out of patience. Start the Baron.
They start the Baron. They find IU, but you know who they don't find? That's Envy. He's looking for something over the wall. Objective bounties are up. Here we go. Throwing down the gauntlet. Bull actually gets the CC there onto Envy. The ult went out from Aegis. Now in they go. Everybody inside. Envy is really low. Had to proto belt out of there. Ragnarok in. FNB. Just a monster. He doesn't die. The heal comes out as well. It's just too much. This man cannot be stopped. This champion cannot be stopped. Another 4 for 0. Make it a 5th. 5-0 ace for the second time in the game. Furia wipe Red clean off the map.
Read the digits at the bottom of the screen. 4x4, 10,373. 5-digit monster. He's been quietly off on the side, just farming this entire time. But when he finally gets stuck in right here, he ripped them apart. 13-1. Furia are set up and ready to end this. And the start of the fight, honestly, didn't look that good for Furia, right? Bo predicted Envy perfectly. Granted, they did have vision on the side, but you knew exactly where Envy was coming in. Then watch what happens when F&B gets in there. He comes in like an absolute wrecking ball.
And it's just him.
Yeah, in the middle of 5. Like, all the damage is being dumped, and they could not kill him. It's not just the highest damage done. Heck, I want to see damage taken numbers, because I suspect 95% of it went on FNB.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's such a tilter. You can't do anything if you're red from this point. You were just hoping that Furia turned their monitors off and just start like just sticking it where the sun don't shine. He's got a GA now as well. It's over, man. And the healing that Goot provided with the ultimate as well. I mean, it's just so much. Oh gosh, you can't do anything. Like, this is I hate doing this, but this is GG. Like, there's nothing you can do.
12k gold. Yeah, they dive turrets at this point. Like, I don't even want to see Furia hesitate.
No.
If red show up a turret, just dive.
Oh, you can't. No, you've got... And look at all those little voidlings.
Yeah.
The StarCraft simulator has come to play.
The circling rush.
Age has got himself a redemption. It's just all about trying to extend these fights to try and find something right now. Envy off in a side lane. Oh, actually, no, off in the mid lane. That's Avenger up in the side lane. Excuse me. Just pushing on a little bit. Look at all the babies. Look at all the little voidlings. Avenger comes back with a void staff. Got to throw down the gauntlet at some point here. They're just slowly bleeding away. This game, 29 minutes was the victory time in Game 4. Coming right up on that here in Game 5. But going to grab themselves an Ocean Soul just to be safe.
To be honest, I don't think Red have the money to buy the gauntlet to throw right now. They are down so much gold.
Well
here.
said.
Furia, they're leaving the base to pick up Ocean Soul.
Yeah.
You thought FNB was unkillable before. Do we have healing cut coming through yet? No, we don't. Red desperately need it, and they are too broke to buy it.
I can't do anything. It's really, really unfortunate. I mean...
What is he doing? He's just standing there menacingly.
Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah, I mean, but again, whether it's the Olaf here, the little pocket picks for Envy, or the Bel'Veth support, just the amount of bans you've got to throw at this team. I mean, it's not that there's no counterplay or anything, because we've seen this team be very, very mortal. Here we go. IU, did he get caught out, or... is it just buying time? Oh my gosh. Envy and FNB. The Soulator just wiping them off the map. Red Canids. A Machilia saindo dos playoffs. The Wolfpack is going home from across the map. Perfect execution. Bull is down. Scion passive ain't gonna save you. Goot talking immense amounts of smack. And why not? Go off, King. You have been one of the most maligned players, by myself included. I will eat crow here. But you had an amazing series on this Sejuani. What a freaking series. Pop off, Furia. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And all they can do is just sit there and see. I love this league, man. I love this league. It's so much fun. Furia continuing to prove the haters wrong. Down 2-1. And they take Red out of the lower bracket. They move on. RMC.
He said it for Furia.